And our correspondent, Joseph Johnson, is with me in the studio to tell us more on GITEX 2020. Hello, Joseph. Welcome back home.
Yeah, thank you, Tessie.
And how was Dubai?
Great. So fantastic.
All right. You attended the 2020 GITEX. Can you tell us, how was it like?
Talking about the event?
Yeah, the experience.
Gulf Information Technology Exhibition, that's GITEX, has always been a veritable platform where young innovators reimagine the future by coming up with crazy ideas, showcasing their talents, coming up with disruptive technology, which become what we now term as emerging technologies.
Okay.
Pitching their ideas across a cluster of exciting and, of course, healthy competitions. This year's event was actually the 40th anniversary of the show, and it was relatively a special edition because of the times we live in. I was talking about coronavirus pandemic, and I understand that Nigeria and some countries of the world are at the verge of experiencing the second wave of COVID-19. In fact, the PTF confirmed that Nigeria has entered into the second wave of COVID-19. So that ultimately, to a large extent, affected and influenced GITEX 2020 because it opened with a plethora of pre to post, COVID-19 technologies or solutions, if you like. So it's a spectacle of innovations.
Wow.
If you're there, if you walk into the World Trade Center, that's the feeling you get.
Okay. Talking about spectacle of events, 10 Nigerians, in your report, you said participated in the startups.
Yes.
What does this portend for Nigeria?
That's a very good question, Tessie.
Okay.
You see, Nigerian startups, like I said in my report, couldn't pitch, in this year's edition of GITEX because of coronavirus pandemic, so they didn't slug it out with their counterparts.
Okay.
Even the minister, couldn't help but express a little bit of surprise, to the fact that the event, showed that many countries of the world did not go to sleep during the lockdown. They were apparently, cooking up stuff. They were, working on their projects, their ideas. So that itself was an eye-opener.
Okay.
And he expressed optimism that come next year, it's going to be a rebound for Nigeria.
Okay.
And apart from that, he did mention that he will be finalizing talks with the FCT minister to transform Abuja to a smart city. Okay. All right, and if you're aware that the ministry has been training lots of young startups, young Nigerians on different digital skills, and in fact, they are placing premium on skills rather than certificates. Okay. So we'll be seeing it actually benefited Nigeria in more ways than one.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Take for example, technology transfer. Yeah. You see, young startups were exposed to, what should I say? They were exposed to a crisscross of insight sharing on 5G, on blockchain, on future mobility, on plenty of them, AI, that's artificial intelligence. Yeah. And recall that the ministry recently inaugurated the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. So it's an enormous, benefit. It cannot be overemphasized. And like the DJ of NIDA, Kashifo Inoa, said, innovation happens when you explore and exploit.
Sure.
So that ultimately played out there because our young startups were exposed to all other innovations, and so they learned, they shared, they married some ideas and all that. So yes, it was quite beneficial.
Take advantage of the exposure and all the experiences gathered, to do something positive.
Indeed.
Okay.
Next year it's going to be a rebound. Okay. It's something that the minister is, taking advantage of, and in fact, he did a pretty fantastic job at wooing investors because that was another opportunity to sell Nigeria. So it benefited Nigeria in that instance because it allowed him to, put out Nigeria and, tell them from geographical advantage, population, innovative youth in the country. These were the opportunities, he had to sell Nigeria. And let me reiterate that the platform also, ensures that most ICT businesses thrive.
Okay.
So this, among other benefits.
Okay. You mentioned, you dwelt so much on how COVID-19 affected so many things.
Yes.
Tell us, did you feel safe, while there? How was the safety measures?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That, I believe, was the worry of participants prior to the event, including myself.
Sure.
But after a careful, I took out time to read their safety measures plans, and after juxtaposing them with what I met on ground on arrival, I can confidently, without a doubt, say that measures were put in place to ensure people are safe, from compulsory wearing of face masks,
and all that.
hand sanitizers at designated points, contactless temperature checks, and plenty more.
All right, Joseph, quickly, any projections, for the next exhibition?
Yes, indeed. Like I said, despite the fact that coronavirus didn't allow startups to pitch, but the minister is looking forward to having a rebound next year. There are lots of activities taking place already in the country, and of course that the focus is to have a digital Nigeria come 2030. And the ICT sector has contributed immensely to the GDP. In fact, the NBS in the second quarter of 2020 report indicated that the ICT sector contributed above 17%, to the nation's GDP. So the minister is looking at taking it up a notch higher. So the 2021, there are so many, like the AI, artificial intelligence national center. We are going to be seeing lots of our youth being trained on all of these areas.
More and
then, of course, yes, we're looking forward to having
good
stuff.
Thank you so much, Joseph, for sharing your experience and your thoughts with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tassie.